Hi guys, Kevin, Property Soldier here. I'm coming to you from Plymouth and I'm actually staying in a studio apartment here in Plymouth. And I thought it would be a really good opportunity to share some thoughts on studio apartments and whether or not they are good for using as serviced accommodation. As with a lot of things, it depends. But what I'm going to do first is give you a little guided tour of the layout of the property, and there's some really good things that have been done here that lend itself really well to service accommodation and in terms of utilising the space really well. So I'm gonna flip the camera around so that I can give you a guided tour and then give you my opinion on it. So let's do a little flip. Cool. So as you can see, it's a beautiful apartment, and it was previously a one large house. And as you can see, this has been created into a studio. So a little kitchen has been put at this side of it, and clearly lounge space, very nicely decorated. As you can see, this has actually been done by one of the people who have previously attended our training at Progressive to learn how to do service accommodation. And if you want to come and stay in any of their properties in Plymouth, they are red lanyard apartments. And so you can see very, very tastefully done, very, very beautiful. I'm obviously staying, so I've messed the place up a little bit, but just this is the window looking out onto the front. And so what's really cool, actually, you can see that was the original door to the apartment to come in. So I'll show you out into the corridor. Try not to make too much noise with the neighbours. And you can see that this building has been arranged into apartments. So going back into here, and you can see the way that they have created. By the way, this is a rent to SA. That red lanyard have taken on, and they've essentially put in this stud partition area here. It creates a lobby to be hanging your stuff there, and then in here you have the bathroom, which is pretty cool. So everything that you need now in a studio apartment, but it's just a really good idea to do that and try not to break anything, as I just tripped over the table, and luckily I didn't break it. So that's useful. Couldn't make this up. So I'm going to flip the camera back round. And that was actually quite funny. But there you go. I thought I've just broken part of this rent to SA. So hopefully you found that useful in terms of the layout. And then getting back to the question of whether studio apartments work as service accommodation or work well as service accommodation. They do, but you also have to consider if you have a two-bed SA, then you are competing with more than one hotel room, and therefore your price point is going to be very attractive for your guests if they can save money on two hotel rooms. So that's always worth considering when it comes to one bed versus two bed, and clearly a studio is classed as a one bedroom. Because sometimes it might only be 50 quid, something like that, for extra rent, especially on rent to SA, for you to get a two-bed property. So that's definitely worth considering whether or not you'd be able to make more money because you've got two-bed as opposed to just one-bed property and only competing with one hotel room. So hopefully that makes sense. However, when it comes to creating lots of units in a building, so clearly this building has lots of apartments in it, and so clearly the building is now competing with multiple hotel rooms. So hopefully that makes sense. So in this instance, yeah, absolutely, nothing wrong with having studio apartments because as the building is competing with multiple hotel rooms. And then the other thing to think about is whether or not you want to consider taking on hotels or guest houses and turning those into studios, because That's one of the reasons I'm here in Plymouth, because we're buying a hotel in Plymouth at the moment, and we're going to be converting it into studio apartments, and then we've got another one in the pipeline. Fingers crossed that we'll be getting that too in Plymouth, and then we've got other deals going on around the country. But that's a really good model, because clearly with a hotel, depending on how big it is, you can be creating 15 on taking over a decent sized guest house. You can be turning that into 15 studio apartments, all in the same building, and no need for owners' accommodation and the kitchen and the dining room, because you've put little kitchenettes into the rooms, and so that's a really cool model. So, do studios work? Yes, but and they can just work on their own as standalone studios if there's enough demand and all the numbers stack, etc., etc. But if you can get multiple studios into one building, then definitely. And I just thought I would show you the layout of this property, because you might be able to get some little tips or some hints as to how you could change the layout of a property in order to create the studios. And this has been done really well. So hopefully you found that short video useful. Let me know what you think. If you like these videos, then give me a like. If you want me to keep doing these videos on serviced accommodation, comment, ask any questions, fire away. I'm here to help. Those of you that don't know me, I'm the lead trainer. In fact, I just got promoted yesterday to master trainer at Progressive Property, but I'm the lead trainer, if you like, for serviced accommodation at Progressive Property. So any questions that you have about SA, then feel free, fire away, and I'm happy to help you. So take care, everyone, and have a great Christmas and a happy New Year, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.